And a good friend of mine called me that night and he goes, "Hey, do you want to go to confession with me?" Not to him, he's not a priest, but go with him to confession. And I was like, and he's asked me that question before many times, and I always give some BS reason of why no, I'm not going to go to confession. But this time, for whatever reason, I just said, sure, why not?
Did this friend know what was going on with you in your life?
No.
Just out of nowhere, it was like, hey, come on, we're going to confession, just casually.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And so I did, and I mean, this is another beautiful thing about our Lord and Our Lady, that so Satan always wants us to live either in the past or in the future. That's where he is. He's in the past and he's in the future. But God is the present moment. He is in the present moment. And he communicates his grace only in the present moment. We can only receive God's grace right now. God is not in the future and in the past. That's not where he lives with us. He lives with us right here as we are. And in that moment, God gave me the grace not to think about the past, but especially not to think about the future. He just gave me the grace to do this one little thing right now, right here. And that was enough. And so I did, and I laid all of my sins down, 5 or 6 years worth of sins in Austin, Texas, and the worldly life.
Yes.
And I left the confessional. It was interesting because when I left the confessional, I felt no peace of soul.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Even though you'd
laid it all down,
dropped all of this, this whole load you were carrying for years, you still didn't feel that.
Didn't feel it at all. But what was interesting is I remember thinking back to when I would go to confession in the past, and I always felt that peace, that forgiveness.
Yes. And
I thought, why am I not experiencing that right now? But what was interesting is I knew intellectually, or in the deepest place of my soul, I knew that I had been forgiven. I knew that I had been washed clean by the blood of our Lord. I knew that there was no more sin. I didn't feel it, but I knew it. And my penance was a rosary. And I remember this was kind of how I realized how far I had fallen, that I forgot how to pray the rosary.
Oh, wow.
So I had
from going from doing several rosaries a day to just completely forgetting how to do the whole thing.
So I was in that church and I had to Google how to pray the rosary on my phone.
Your friend wasn't there to help you out?
No, he was somewhere else at that point.
He was doing his own penance.
Yeah, he was doing his own, which is probably like 12 rosaries or something, knowing him.
Where was this, by the way?
This was at St. Teresa's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember which priest it was?
I do.
Who was it?
It was Father Greg, I think. And when I was praying that rosary, I remember just experiencing like this demonic attack again, where all of these terrible demonic thoughts were like entering into my heart from outside. That was the other thing. And they were all about the rosary, and they were all about Our Lady. Like all of based just these blasphemies. And I'm like, no. Like I don't believe this. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. It's like, why, what is happening right now? Like,
you were fighting a battle while
I was
praying the rosary.
I was. And what I realized though was that Satan is really unhappy right now. All of hell is furious, and all of heaven is rejoicing, because one who was lost and was dead has come back to life. And so he's attacking Mary. He's trying to drive a wedge between me and Our Lady. There must be a reason for that, because she's the one that he fears most. She's the one who from the beginning crushes his head.
Mm-hmm.
She is the Immaculate One whose heart will triumph and who will draw all men to her Son. She is the one who crushes the head of the serpent, who destroys all heresy, and who has the entire deposit of God's mercy to bestow on any soul who comes to her. So if I were Satan, I'd be pretty darn scared too. And so I finished that rosary, and again, no peace of soul, but I just realized there was a certain peace in that I knew I was right where I was supposed to be. There was no fear about the future, and there was no thought of priesthood or anything like that. It was just, here I am today.
In the moment.
In the moment.